Hey guys, the Firebird is here, my hands are back, and today we're reviewing Studio Series. Today we're reviewing Kingdom Waspinator. Can you tell I'm still new at this? Last episode we covered Jolt. Today we're covering a character from the Kingdom series. Well, I say series, it's more like toyline, and that is Waspinator. So, today I'll be covering this figure and tell you guys the good, the bad, the in-between, all to answer the question, should you buy this guy? Now, I'm having a lot of fun doing these store reviews. They don't give me that much profit or like views, but it's fun to make and you guys seem to enjoy them. So I'm gonna continue doing them. But anyways, before we go on, talking about Best Boy Waspinator here, it's time to tackle some lore. You guys might recognize Waspinator as the one Beast Wars character whose whole gimmick is that he appears on the show to get beat up by the Maximals. Just like that. He's a pretty popular Beast Wars character, and if you watch Beast Wars, he's probably the best part of the show. Not that Beast Wars was bad, Beast Wars is great, one of the best Transformers shows out there, and if you haven't watched it, what the frick are you doing? Go watch it, it's really good. Something to note here is that this Waspinator figure, although, is based on the Beast Wars character, a lot of the Netflix Kingdom toys take a certain spin on Beast Wars characters. For example, Dinobot here, despite being based on, his Beast Wars counterpart, is actually quite different from his original Beast Wars look. Primarily due to some of the color here that's used, and even in the show itself, and certain areas here and there. Waspinator here is also doing the same thing, as you guys can see here, and expect to see a lot of Waspinator reviews in this video. This Waspinator is not 100% accurate with Beast Wars Waspinator. The wings are not the, correct color, and some coloration here and there is also not accurate. And he never used this as a weapon in the show. If we're talking about accuracy, the Dueling Theories Waspinator is a much better pick, but this is the Kingdom Waspinator. It's trying to do its own thing. This is its own separate universe. Changes like that are kinda to be expected, and frankly, if you've been in the Transformers franchise long enough, you see characters change all the time, like Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Starscream, and so on. Beast Wars characters getting changes is more uncommon, so that's why, some people might be taken aback by it, but honestly, I don't think that's a bad thing. I frankly think that this Waspinator looks pretty great, and it's a pretty faithful enough adaptation of the Beast Wars version. Let's move on to what you're all here for, hearing me rant about this figure and its flaws, and also compliment it along the way. Anyways, I'm back. So I got an Optimus Prime card, and can you take a guess as to which one I got? I got the Nemesis Prime Destiny for Optimus Prime, so that's pretty neat. Though people seem to mention the little cards you get, I'm a pretty big fan of them. I'm actually gonna like them. But anyways, we're not talking about the cards, we're talking about the figure itself. Now, you probably noticed this by just simply looking at the Wasp of the Nator. He has quite a bit of stuff going on here. Can these things clap? Worth a try. Wait. No. Wait. Can you? Wait. Hey! Can you tell I'm having fun with this? So yeah, the little wasp legs that he has going on are a bit of a problem. For me they are, for some people they probably won't. I think it depends vastly on whoever has this figure, because the problem is like when it goes to pulsing him, sometimes like you get some collision here and it's pretty annoying. Now you can fix this simply by rotating the legs here so they're out of the way of your arms and your other limbs. You can do that, but the problem is that the packaging, the instructions, and everything else want you to have Waspinator in this way, where the legs can collide with the arms. So easy, work around this is just like have the legs like this, or having a position where they won't interfere that much. The problem is that there's gonna be at least one moment where you want to move something and it interferes with the wings, or this interferes with the bottom wasp legs, and so on. Like, there's not going to be a moment where you're not bothered in some way, shape, or form by the legs. You can definitely work around it, but since I'm a by-the-book type of guy, I'm going to keep it, the way the instructions kind of wanted me to do it. Now, something else that I know it's going to bother some people is probably the clear plastic. I frankly don't have a problem with it, and some people might even be super nitpicky and complain about the plastic here. Something else I want to complain is the paint. Well, the paint for the most part is fine. You can tell that here, this part's, this different shade of, plastic green, and everything else is also a different, lighter shade of green, some of it is darker. Like, I feel like the green of the figure is a bit too inconsistent for my liking. While this is not a deal breaker, it's something that I just noticed and something that, you know, just bothers me. You probably know this, but his chest is mistransformed, and while I was tweaking him around, it just closes. Like, you can just open it up pretty easily, and it kind of adjusts. Oops. Oh, that's not painful. And you can adjust it to stay there, but I mean, you gotta be careful. Like, I feel like moving him around is like a cause and effect thing. Oh, I decided to move the legs, but oh no, this collided with the chest. Now the chest is partially closed. Now I need to open the chest. Oh, I want to happen in the running position. Oh, that's cool, but the legs are gonna get in my way. Wait. Can Wait, I'm curious. Can Waspinator do a ballerina pose? It does seem like a pretty Waspinator thing to do. So yeah, I'm a bit pissed about that. Also, he suffers from hollow leg syndrome, which I know people don't like. Personally, I have no problem with it. But I know hardcore Transformers collector fans are gonna find that annoying. Also, I don't know if this is a problem with my figure, but I feel like the chest in particular doesn't tab pretty well. As you guys can see here, like this part is very loose. Like I try and tab this here. I'm tabbing it, you know, it's not like connecting pretty well, and you know, again, there's a lot of parts that you can just mesh with. Like me just messing with this made like the wasp antennas, you know, just like flip around and stuff like that. It's this cause and effect kind of thing. I feel like this figure, like if you move something else by accident. Now I moved the chest, now I need to fix that. You see where I'm going with here? It's so annoying to like be like, oh man, I moved the leg, now I need to move this. Oh wait, the arm's not colliding here. Oh, I need to move the arm. Oh wait, I accidentally hit the chest needs to be fixed. It's a very frustrating figure to use sometimes. I like it though. I like the design, I like how it's looking like. And I'm not sure if this is like a problem with just my figure where the chest won't stay still properly, and whenever I move it, like everything, it's just a struggle to get everything into order again. To be frank, I always feel like this figure was designed to be placed on a stand. Like, I think when it comes to pulsing, especially on a stand, it looks outstanding. It's amazing. But when you have it like on the ground, that's where he struggles. And also, beware. I don't know if this is a me only thing, if I got really unlucky with this figure. But there's a huge crippling flaw that I noticed with my copy. And that is with these legs right here. The left wasp legs have a huge problem. So I'm not sure if there's a problem with my copy, or I haven't seen anyone else report on this, but my copy, like the tabbing for this, like the rotation joint here, it was like stuck. It was like in the wrong position. So, you know, like when I wanted to twist it to its rightful position, like, you know, as the instructions said, to like get like the wasp, you know, little legs, oh my god, that was so painful. It was just like Air Rise Double Dealer, where, you know, there's a problem with the leg that falls, like getting it back is like really painful, really stressful. As you can see some bite marks because I had to bite on the figure to actually get this to tap in. Like after I took it out, I wanted to get it back in because it wasn't, you know, allowing me to twist it. It was really not letting me do it. I had to take it off and fix the positioning here. And you can see some like bite marks, like me just trying to shove it in with like a knife and a bunch of other stuff I had. I actually kind of hurt myself doing this. I'm not sure if you can see it. The red light's making it look worse than it actually is, but I got like a couple of scars on my fingers. So yeah, I bled for this video, so you better like, comment, and subscribe, you filthy But I haven't seen many people complaining about that. Like, typically the complaints are just like the things I said in general, but warning, if you do happen to be unlucky and get that one Waspinator figure where like the joint here is not working properly, exercise extreme caution. Like, you know, hold this like very carefully when twisting it. Hold the back and, you know, move the front too to make sure that that stays tapped in there. I shoved that back in, so now there's not that problem anymore, but there's a chance that people might still get that. So if you are unlucky and you happen to get that kind of Waspinator, it can be fixed, but you're probably gonna suffer a bit along the way. But anyways, I think I bashed on poor Waspinator a lot so far. So let's talk about some positives, and we need some positive lighting. Anyways, as you guys are seeing right now, I feel like this is the type of figure you can get into quite a few poses, but much like Studio Series Joe, you kind of have to work for it. But it is possible. Next up, I think he's a pretty good looking figure, all things considered. Like, it's a faithful interpretation of, Beast Wars Waspinator. And yeah, the trolling theories might be a little better. Well, it might be a lot better and more accurate. I still think this Waspinator can hold up by himself. It's a pretty decent figure, especially to look at and have in your collection. The Wasp form is a bit stiff. Like, there's not much you can do with it. You can move the legs here and there and play with the mount, which it's admittedly kind of addictive. The Wasp form is pretty stiff, but I mean, I still think it's better than Rat Trap's vehicle mode because at least you can move some things with the Wasp vehicle mode. Transforming, an animal to a robot is pretty complicated, but I think I have to admit that the team did a fine job with, the way the beast mode ended up looking. Also, the transformation can be a bit fun if you ignore the fatal flaw of the malfunctioning left joint syndrome. And another positive is that I feel like you should just get this guy for the fact of being, well, Waspinator. I mean, I love Waspinator. We all like Waspinator. And the fact that we have a Waspinator figure, I like that. Is it a flawless figure? No, not at all. And I'm kind of struggling finding some positives as I'm going. But it's a figure I kind of like. And he looks pretty decent alongside the rest of the Predacons. His best buds, Beast Wars Megatron, Black Arachnia, and Scorponok. If there's something that Kingdom did that I really don't like is reducing the number of Predacons. We're still waiting on Pterosaur and no sign of Tarantulas or Inferno for the foreseeable future. We do have like the fossilizers and they're serviceable enough, but as for the core Predacons, we have surprisingly little of them. And I'm also not counting Shadow Panther. Also, another unintentional positive is that in the show, Waspinator was known for, falling apart all the time. And I feel like in between like the broken leg and like the untapping torso, this figure does a fantastic job at replicating Waspinator's misfortunes in the show. He can also fall apart. Oh wow, partial beast mode transformation. He can also kind of break down pretty easily. So points for show accuracy, I guess. That's really neat. Anyways, before we move on to transformation, I want to talk to you about the
articulation.
So yeah, you can move the arms, you can rotate the entire arm, you can rotate, the hands and so on. That's pretty cool. All of the Wasp legs are movable. Well, you can rotate them. That's really neat. You can rotate the antennas. The head can move up and down, but very, very, very limited. You can move its head from side to side, which is really nice. You can move his head all the way. It's a bit stiff, but you can do it. The wings are probably my favorite part. I just have so much fun playing with them. It feels like so good to touch. That sounds very wrong. Of course, like the chest, you can put it together, or you can like separate them, which is like the proper way to have it. I would just wish they would stay that way, because whenever I move him, especially when rotating the torso, like you can see it's slowly trying to close. I mean, well, now it's kind of fine, but it does close it a little, which is kind of annoying. You can twist this around, which it's completely fine. It is a bit annoying sometimes, but it is something you can do, because this the wasp like teeth, whatever those things are, they collide with his crotch. Sometimes it's kind of annoying. Like you really need to like have a hold of this figure, like manage like it really well. The feet, there's a joint at the knees. You can move it like here, but as you can see, be careful because these two things can collide. That's pretty annoying. You can move this up and down. You can rotate this slightly. You got the feet here, which go from side to side. I mean, that's nice. That's like really good for pulsing, actually. It's a nice little thing. The wasp butt, unfortunately, you can't really move it. It's kind of stuck in there unless you do it during transformation. And for the vehicle mode, it's pretty much the same. You can move the legs here and there, and the antennas of the wasp. But other than that, you're not gonna get that much mobility with the beast mode. Hey, still better than Rat Trap. Anyways guys, time for the moment you all been waiting for, and the moment I've been dreading for, the transformation. This should be fun. So did you catch all that? Alright then, allow me to go over it really slowly this time. Remove the wasp weapon and put it on Waspinator's butt. close the wasp head and put the antennas into position. Unpin the open torso from the back. There should be 2 holes in which the torso is connected to. You can just pull it out. Pull the wings closer to one another so they don't interrupt during the transformation, and get the upper wasp legs into position. Then, rotate the shoulders together so they're facing one another, and rotate the hands around. Make sure that these 2 pins are looking at each other, and also rotate the hands. Once they're straight, fold them inside the body. There is a tab right here for the hands to plug into. Then rise up the upper part of the wasp, and above the crotch area, rotate the upper part of the wasp mode, like so. Get the legs together, and have the back feet of the leg fold into the front. And once both parts are together, rotate them both back. Tap the crotch area onto the butt of the wasp, and bring the legs forward to meet the arms. From here on, apply a bit of pressure to tap everything into place. And make sure the robot mode's feet are covering the front of the shoulders. And then you have your wasp mode. That wasn't so hard now, was it? And here we have my boy Waspinator in his vehicle mode. Well, beast mode I should say. Honestly, he looks pretty good in beast mode. Here's the robot kibble, the legs as you saw in the transformation. The legs were the hardest part to stop motion, by the way. I should say, the stop motion was pretty hard, my back hurt. So hope you guys like, comment, subscribe, and donate a bunch of money to my Patreon. Yeah, you can move the antennas, you can move the mouth, which you probably already see. That's pretty cool. Wings flap. It's very addicting. And you can move the legs, you know, up, down, and the ones in the back too, but for these ones you need to put a bit more effort because they're kind of stuck in there. Not really, but you still like need to do it, you know. You can get some quite decent beast mode poses, I think. You can move the head like this. We got some decent poses here. Oh, that looks cool. That looks pretty cool actually. Yeah, there's not much to say. I mean, it's a pretty accurate Wasp beast mode, considering what they had to work with. I'm actually impressed we managed to get this good of a beast mode at all. The beast mode looks good, like, in my opinion, it looks very good. Not much complaints here, aside from, like, you know, the bottom of the beast mode that looks like this. But then again, you know, it's just being nitpicky. Overall, I have very little complaints with the beast mode. It's a pretty good beast mode. This thing's not sharp, but you can still use it to, like, have Waspinator get his enemies. Oh my god, that was perfect! That was totally unscripted! Oh my god, that was great! Good job, Waspinator! And yeah guys, that's it for this review of Almost Said Studio Series Kingdom Waspinator. I have it on stand here, and just like I said, I feel like Waspinator, like here, he looks better when he's on a stand. You can get him into quite a few like really cool looking poses out of, you know, the beast mode and the rod mode. The rod mode is the one I had the most problems with, mostly because of like the little legs here colliding with the top legs, which funnily enough was also the case with the last, you know, toy that I reviewed. I don't know what's up with that. It's interesting how these, you know, latest toys are having the same problems. And the accessory, it's not the best, you know. I feel like they just wanted to give it an accessory, so they just said, let's rip off 1/3 of his butt and use it as his weapon, and that was the logic. And Hasbro clapped and threw their feces at the wall as they tried to save more money. I don't hate this figure. It's so hard for me to review, to like give this a final score, because I don't hate it, but I have so many problems. But I need to like view this not only on the lens of how I feel about it, but how will people in general, like, how will you, the viewer, feel about this, and if it's worth getting. I'm gonna have to give Waspinator a 5 out of 10. Like, I love this figure. Like, I actually really like him. He's fun. Like, he has some fun things. That beast mode is great. I think the transformation is kind of clever, but I don't like some of the design choices and how they mess with the figure as a whole. I don't like how easy to like break apart and how unsecure the chest especially is, and how this keeps on closing. There's so much wrong with this figure, but I think that despite his flaws, he has a lot of fun potential. And if you're a Beast Wars fan, I definitely think you should get him. My problem is that he's one of those figures that I feel like he's kind of a pain to play with. I mean, you might have some fun, especially if you're like, you know, a hardcore OG Beast Wars fan who, you know, likes Waspinator getting blown up, you'll have a lot of fun with him. Try just recreating that. Like, I feel like that's built into the figure. But you see it for stop motions? Yeah, I mean, you could like do that. I think he's decently fine with stop motions on like Joel. I mean, he will be really problematic, and you will have to do a lot of like managing, micromanaging to get him to do what you want. But besides that, I don't think he's that bad. I think he has some potential. But yeah, guys, those are my final thoughts on Transformers Kingdom Deluxe class Waspinator, the good, the bad, and everything in between. Let me know your thoughts on this figure, and let me know if you're gonna get him. And if you already have him, do you have the same problems as I do, or is it just a me thing? I just happen to get super unlucky. I don't hate the figure despite the score. It's just this has a lot of flaws. I still like him. I don't have any Transformers figures I straight up hate. Even with this one, it has flaws, but I will still use it for stop motions. I will still, like, you know, just play around with it, fiddle with it, like, every once in a while. I will probably keep it mostly on beast mode, because beast mode looks very good. But as for real mode, getting into decent pose, having, like, standing on a stand, I feel like he works best when he's, like, in a stand. But other than that, he's okay. He's okay, you know, he's decent enough. But yeah, guys, that's it for this video. Hopefully you'll enjoy. I'll make some more, you know, toy reviews if you guys are up for it, if you guys would like to see me do them. Hit me up with a like, comment down below, and all of that. It helps keep the series going. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, whatever that may be. You never know nowadays. Anyways, bye guys.